Hello, everybody. Happy Saturday night to you. And if you're on the other side of the planet, happy Sunday night to you. We have a good show for you tonight. And I hope you will enjoy it as much as I do, or even more. Trying to think. All right, here we go. I'm on two different systems here, and I was trying to find the volume to turn down the music a little bit. I had to realize that it's over here, not over here. So before we get started, I will let you know that the things that are down in the description. One is, well, let's go ahead and see. And actually, I need to check and make sure that I am live because I haven't even looked to see if you guys are there yet. And I've got to be able to have the chat available so I can actually see what's going on and if I need to take questions or anything like that. So let's just make sure that's up and running. It looks like there's up and running. There's 63 people here. And let me see what's in my show notes. All right, so I have two guests tonight. One is Nicole de Groat, who was a previous guest about 3 years ago. And she's a near-death experiencer. And then a man named Khusbir, I hope I'm pronouncing it right. He is in India, and he's been having alien contact. We'll have him on during the second hour. If you look down in, and I didn't do it, I said I was going to do it, but I need to do that. In the description below, you can see a link to our website, a link to our Discord, and I need to put the passcode in there. But if you don't, for now, you can just email me directly and I'll give you the passcode. There's also a link to my personal Facebook page, which you'll see my last name is Reynolds. Mara is my beloved wife. That's not my last name. Then you can see our link to our Facebook page for the podcast, other channels like our music, our merch, and our cooking channel. And we finally got a new cooking video up. And I made my homemade chocolate chunk cookies using Mr. Beast chocolate bars. And they were actually very delicious. So if you like chocolate chunk cookies, then you should go get that recipe. All right, Nicole, I thought she's trying to get in. She's trying to get in. So we're waiting for her to come in and join us. And hopefully, she's been 3 years, so maybe hopefully it won't be too difficult for her to get back in. And let me tell you what is going on for the week while we're waiting. Tomorrow's video, which I've been working on today, is a woman who shows us videos of pictures and video of elementals, pictures of orbs, video of orbs, or she calls them starlight beings, but they're kind of like orbs, starlights. I'm not really sure how I want to call those. And she claims that we are in the revelations right now, as well as she claims that the sun and the moon are sentient beings and they are increasing their size for her. They're contacting her, or they're, I guess, communicating with her. And we look at some video of that. So I hope you'll really enjoy that video. After that, on Monday, I have an NDE of a woman that fell off a ski lift, basically, purposely. She thought she was jumping off, but she didn't realize it was that high and had an NDE. So we have that coming up for you. I have an MDE to record on Monday. And who do I have on Tuesday? Another NDE. And then a master in meditation I'm supposed to be with on Thursday. And another near-death experience on Friday. And the week is filling up. So as I say before, sometimes, the week's not filled, but as the day goes on or days go on, people start asking to be guests, and it starts filling up. And on that note, we're still waiting for Nicole. Looks like that's her. And that's a good time. We've got about 118 people in the room, so that's a good time to come and visit us. while everybody's there. And I have not seen Nicole in 3 years. So it's going to be interesting to catch up with a guest. You know, it's for me, it's kind of like the guests are like old friends. And to see what she's up to will be interesting. All right, now where are my notes? I had my notes together for tonight. Got way down there. Here we go. Nicole, there you are.
Hey.
Can you hear me?
Hi.
Nice
I
to
can hear
see.
you. Yes.
All right, nice to see you again.
Good to see you.
It's amazing to think that it's been 3 years.
I know. Always in threes for me.
Wow, it's like where did the time go?
I know. I watch that video all the time
Oh, you
to
do?
remind myself. Yeah.
All right. Well, let me let people. I didn't even. I should have officially introduced you, but as I said, Nicole was with me back in November of 2021, so it's close. We spoke about her two NDEs, which changed her life in a profound way. She now shares her message of eternal life and inspires others to remember their truth and divinity. Nicole, 3 years ago, my channel was a lot smaller. Is there any way you
Hmm.
can kind of briefly review your NDEs just to kind of, let people know what happened to you and make them
Sure.
aware of?
Yes.
That would be great.
Okay. So, I was, I had a hard life and I was coping, in the wrong ways with substances. So, my first NDE, I don't believe I was meant to fully pass on. I was getting a message, I believe, from my grandmother. I overdosed and everything went dark. I remember, but then when I came to, I just kind of like jumped out of my body and ran. I didn't think about where I was going. I just kind of just went in a panicked way. Um, and I was running. My grandma lived 3 houses down from me my whole life. She'd been passed on for 7 years at this time. But I was running. I ran to her. I started running to her house. Without even doubting or thinking like she's not going to be there. I just like was running to her. I didn't, there was no doubt in my mind she's going to be there. So I was running down the street to her house. I used to run down there when I was a child and like run into her house and lay on her lap, and she calmed me down when I was having a hard time. So so as soon as I ran out of my body, I was running to her house, and as I got closer to her house, I was being pushed, kind of slowed down, pushed back, as if like I was being stopped, like I wasn't going to be able to fully run into her house. And when I got to her, the window in front of her house, I saw my grandmother sitting there, um, and I was stopped at the bottom of her driveway and silenced. I couldn't say anything. I couldn't speak, and she telepathically communicated with me. I've been here the whole time. I've never left you. She wasn't surprised to see me, which was really shocking to me because I was like shocked to see her, but she was looking at me as if she had been expecting me. So she was giving me a message of, Nicole, nothing's filling your void. Nothing's ever going to fill your void, because knowing eternal life is the only way to fill your void. Your void is infinite, and so is eternal life. So that's the only way that you're going to fill yourself, is knowing that this exists, knowing that we're all here still. Like no one leaves, no one goes anywhere. We're all in this evolution of love together. Like this is like a beautiful thing. It's not a punishment. She wanted me to stop hurting myself and hurting the people around me, and she wanted me to go back to my daughter. So she wouldn't let me come in the house. That's why I was being stopped. She was like basically telling me, I'm here, you're there. This is not happening right now. You need to go home. You need to, live your life differently. And remember that I'm here. Like, remember, this is what's going to keep you okay, is like knowing that there is more to this life. Like, this isn't, the life you're living now is not it. So which was a big thing for me, because I was just living kind of without any meaning to life, and I was scared of life. And so once I realized, I got the message clear, and I knew I wasn't going to be able to reunite with her yet. I would one day, I knew that. I kind of like just got sucked backwards back into my body, which really hurt. And I woke up, and there was like a lot of police officers in my room, and my bed was like pushed all the way over to the other side of the room. Like they had saved my life, and I was in the newspaper for it. So it was when I was in the newspaper for it, a lot of people asked me, they didn't put my name, but they put my age, my street, and all that. So a lot of people came to me and asked me if it was me. And I denied it. And I said no, because I was embarrassed. And the more I denied it, the more I pushed away the message that my grandma had given me. And I kind of forgot, or it just became not like, not very profound in my life. And so I kept struggling with my issues, with the meaning to life, and it just became like a faded thing. It wasn't even a big thing, and it should have been. So my second NDE was 2 years later, and this time I didn't go to sleep and jump up and run. Like I was awake for the whole process. My heart was pounding. I was up for 3 days. Um, I remember I was Googling on my phone easy ways to die at home because I wanted to die so bad. And I remember like my heart started pounding so fast and I couldn't catch my breath. And I remember thinking to myself, like, here it comes, like, and I got scared. It was funny. I was Googling how to do it, but then when it came, I got terrified. So I dropped on the ground, and that was what happened. But like spiritually, I never even noticed my body dropping. I shifted, kind of like my awareness shifted. Oh, and I went somewhere else. Like my awareness went completely somewhere else. And I remember immediately feeling like euphoria and peace, like unbelievable amounts of peace. And when my logical mind for a second was like, wait a second, I was just like, I felt like I was just about to drop dead. Like, how am I feeling so good right now? I didn't understand it, but then I knew something had happened. Um, so I went to I was being called outside to go outside, but I was like, this time I wasn't running and scared. It was like I was enjoying it. I was like basking in it, kind of. It was as if, like, when I would feel good, the outside of me would vibrate and become more beautiful. Like everything on the outside of me was like responding to the inside of me. Like I was one with everything. There was no separation between me and anything else. I felt humor, and like was laughing at myself for being so serious in life. I was uh I was like, why was I so anxious? Why was I always rushing around? Why was I being so judgmental and hard on myself? Like I knew at that time, like the bigger picture of why I was here. I had put myself in this life to grow and learn, and I had the whole time just condemned myself and hated myself and punished myself instead of enjoying the ride. And I kind of found that funny. And I remember feeling like super relieved that time had stopped. Like I never realized before how much I had been battling time. It was like my worst enemy. And when it stopped, I just remember feeling like nothing could get me anymore. Like nothing was coming for me. Like the bills weren't coming anymore. Nothing was gonna get me. And I just felt so safe. I felt so like comforted by that. And when I went outside, there was a street lamp outside my house that was just emitting this light that was, I've never seen a light like this. It even made the sun look like pathetic. So I was walking towards this light, and as I did, I got more and more clarity. Um, and so I started to see the truth about everything. Like I started to see how things really looked outside, like the trees, even the sky. It became what it was meant to always be, without like the disintegration of like time going by and everything dying. Everything was now becoming what it really was, like getting more life into it. Um, so as I walked towards the light, um, I started to see these immense amount of, like, infinite amount of beings, these light beings just facing me and pouring unconditional love onto me. And I started to realize, like, they had always been there, just like my grandma. I didn't know that. I wasn't tuned into it. So they had been there all the time. Every time I felt lonely, every time I felt alone, like there's no one there, I had like an infinite amount of love being poured onto me the whole time. Which was really like humbling to know that. And so when I got to the light, I started to like shift into their aware, like their perception. I started to go into like the light with them. And when I did that, because this was all so great, it was all euphoria and everything. Like I wasn't thinking about my life. I wasn't thinking about what just happened to me. I was just like enamored by this beautiful situation. And so as I turned into their perception, and I became like started to become one of them, I started to realize I was facing now those I was leaving behind in my life. And I immediately saw the back of my daughter's head, meaning she was not going to be aware of me anymore, but I was going to be eternally aware of her. I was never. I became multidimensional at that point. I was everywhere at once. Like I was one with everything. There was no separation between anything and me. But there was for my daughter and me. Like she was not going to turn towards me. For a long time, and she was going to struggle. She was going to have a lot of pain, and I was gonna just be like standing there, like with my awareness on her, and she was gonna have no idea that that was the case. Like she was really gonna believe I was gone. She was really gonna believe that she was alone, and I really couldn't stand that thought. That thought was just like was hell to me. And it was not worth me going into this, this paradise. Like I started to beg for my life. I basically like, dropped to my knees and started panicking, like, please, no, 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 I can't go. Like, I don't care if it hurts, I don't care what I have to do. I can't leave her, I can't leave her. I need her to know this. I need her to know this exists. Like, she's not going to know this exists. She's going to be just like me. She's going to have issues. She's going to, have a death wish. She's gonna be scared of death. And I didn't feel like I could move on into the peace without her knowing that there was such a thing as peace, like eternal peace. I couldn't do that. So I started to beg for my life, and as I did that, the whole entire situation like stayed the same. It wasn't. It didn't like react to me. The light stayed where what it was, and it actually connected to my chest, like right here, and it started putting like it's like unconditional love and infinite intelligence and clarity into my chest, and it started to like suck out my negativity and my panic and my fear, and it was like transmuting it. It was like this exchange of like the good and like what I was putting out, which was like panic, and like the truth, like the ultimate truth that this light was. And it was like it was kind of like filtering me out and taking all the negativity out of me and putting this like beautiful knowing inside me. And as it did that, it was like basically telling me, Nicole, like, didn't you see what we just showed you? Like, why are you freaking out? Why are you scared? This is your life. Like, there's no one's doing anything to you. No one's telling you you can't go back. No one's telling you you can't make a decision. Like, this is your decision. This is your life. This is your expansion. This is your evolution. You get to decide if you get to go into the peace. That's fine. Like, there's no wrong choice. If you want to go back, you can go back. But it wasn't completely all good. I was told that I was going to have a lot of hard times. I was going to be kind of ostracized and like not believed about it, and people were going to be mad at me when I went back because of what happened. So I was going to have years of kind of like silencing what I knew so that everybody else around me could wait for wait to be comfortable with hearing what I knew, which was gonna to me at the time, like I was kind of not believing that. I was like, okay, I just saw eternal life and the ultimate truth of everything. Like, someone's gonna listen. I'm not gonna have to wait 3 years. I was told 3 years. So yeah, I was told, like, go into the peace if you want. If you come back, it's gonna be fine too, but you're gonna have to have a few years of like hardship, and it's not gonna be easy. But I chose to go back because I saw it as it was going to be a bigger, greater change for everybody. There would be a more of a positive impact if I went back, even though it was going to be hard for me at first. Because the first thing I thought when I saw the truth or felt the truth was, oh my God, I can't wait for everybody to know this. Like, everybody needs to know this because of how the world is. Like, if everybody knew this, the world would be so different. So that I didn't think, like, when it happened, I didn't think, oh, this is so awesome for me. I thought, I can't wait to tell everybody this. This is like amazing. But when I came back, it's no one wanted to hear it at all. Like, no one wanted to listen to me. I actually didn't talk about it until for 4 years. I thought it was three, it was four. Um, and so it's 8 years now. And I'm still having a hard time getting through to people, like, or getting my message across. Like, no one wants to really listen to it. I have a hard time still. Um, but yeah, I mean, it was just like I was just existing without any meaning to life, and I was just like a horribly sad person, and like it was like dangerous to myself. And um, my grandmother tried to give me the light in the dark with her message that time, but I denied it and I wasn't ready. So basically, what I feel like they did was they gave me a big, bright, beautiful, you know, experience where I got to choose, and it was like my choice, and I really, that really affected me. So I woke up in the hospital the next day, and I was completely different. I was a completely different person immediately. There was nothing I had to integrate. I was completely different, and that was also hard because everybody outside of me was not aware of that, and they didn't treat me like that. So it was really hard to be this new person inside, but also like on the outside have to still live this life of who I used to be. Even a day before that, when I was like, I wanted to die so bad and I hated myself. Now it's like I had this worthiness and this like appreciation for life experience, and because I knew there was something more. I knew there was something bigger going on, and I never thought that that was possible. So those were my two NDEs, and so yeah, that's it.
All right. Thank you for catching us up on those, and for a lot of people that they're brand new hearing you. It's been 8 years total, and about 3 years since I've seen you. What has been going on in your life since I've seen you?
A lot. It's been really like a testing period for me. I did the interview with you and I
Mhm.
got an overwhelming response like in my emails, my like, it was like overwhelming. And my dream is to counsel people into remembering their truth and their divinity and who they really are and what we're doing here, what's going on here, and kind of comforting and like reminding them of what they already know. And I'm like really good at it. So I would sit and see if I'm learning while I'm teaching somebody. I wasn't charging anybody money. I was learning too. So I felt like there was an even exchange there. And so I would sit there and answer emails, like so many emails, like all day, giving people advice. And like they were, somebody told me like I changed their journey in life. Like all these like beautiful things were happening. Hours and hours of my time, just like, and it's like, it invigorates me. It doesn't make me tired. I could do it 24 hours a day, like talking about this stuff and helping people. But then like 2 weeks after I did your podcast, like the love of my life died out of nowhere. So I'm sitting there and like telling people there's no such thing as death and like no one leaves. And then like, I was I was the closest person to me was taken from me suddenly. So I kind of like hated spirituality. I turned my back on it like pretty bad because it was such a big part of my life. I felt like the universe was punishing me. Like I thought maybe I gave the wrong message. I thought maybe I overstepped myself and I wasn't supposed to do what I did. I couldn't believe that if I was helping all these people, was helping them, really really helping them, why I felt like I was being punished. So I got really mad at spirituality, and I feel like spirituality took him from me. And no, I was gonna die, and I decided not to go, and now he's over there. It was just like such a horrible thing for me. So I had to like I couldn't understand it. I couldn't understand the point of that and why that would happen. So I started drinking. I had to drink every single day to put myself to sleep. I couldn't exist in a reality without him here. Like it was just really bad time for me. It got to the point where um I had to like put myself in and get some help because it was just like all the time I couldn't feel my feelings. It was like it was really bad. So after that I totally detached from my spirituality, which just made me kind of like I was again looking for something to fill my void, anything to fill my void, whether it was food or a relationship or just distractions. There was nothing like I had been like healing myself so much, and now it was just kind of like I was just like biding my time or like just getting by, just barely getting by each day. Um, I mean, I even signed up to get my Reiki certification. I didn't touch that for a year. I was just kind of, so then last year in February, and everything happens to me in like big chunks. Like if I lose my job, I lose my boyfriend, I lose my house, I lose like everything at once. So last February, I was just kind of like in a really sad place, and I lost my job, I lost my boyfriend, and I was in the hospital, I had a surgery, and I was just kind of like, you know what, I, I just, I, I gave up. I basically gave up. I couldn't hold anything together anymore. I was just when I broke up with the boyfriend, it was like the love of my life would pass. It like died all over again. It was just like I couldn't. And I felt like I had nobody that understood me. I felt like if anybody could comfort me, it would be me. But now I'm not there anymore. Like the normal me isn't there anymore. So I wasn't working for a while, which is not normal for me. I always kind of worked. And I one day, like I don't know what it was, but I got this light turned on, and I was like, oh my gosh, like this is my time to do my spiritual work. Like this is my time to focus on doing this. Like I have time now, and I can really like put my head needs to be in such a specific place to like help people. I can't be at the coffee shop like typing on my laptop. It's not how it works. Like I have to be really in a specific place. So I started really focusing on that, and I got a client, like my one client I had every Wednesday. It was like so touching that I had this, and this person had waited for me for 2 years from your podcast. She had waited for me to help her. Like it was so
Wow.
touching to me. So I started to help people again. I started to get like, confidence in it. I started to feel comfortable in it. Johnny had been passed at 2 years at this point. Um, and then my daughter got diagnosed with leukemia. And
Wow.
I was just like, I couldn't understand that. Actually, the woman I was helping every Wednesday, I talked to her that day because her fear was she watched her mother die of cancer very slowly, and it created such fear in her about life that she was terrified her kids were going to watch her die of cancer. So like that's what I was helping her with, and I never said the word cancer so much in one day. And then all of a sudden, I'm in the hospital at 4 in the morning in the emergency room, and my daughter gets diagnosed with cancer. And I'm like, it's kind of like, I don't know. It's just like the Johnny thing. Like I'm telling you, there's no such thing as death. Johnny dies, and I'm helping this woman with cancer, and my daughter has cancer. It's just like and I realized at this point I wasn't being punished. I was. I still hadn't healed myself to the point of worthiness that I was giving out this beautiful like advice to people that was real, but I really wasn't integrating it with myself. Like I was like, you deserve it, but I don't, kind of. So when I would do that, it would swing back at me, and it would like I would have a situation happen where it was like I had to learn that it was true for me too, and that's what was happening. And um it was just a really it was a good thing for me at this point. When my daughter got cancer, I couldn't, even when I got on the I went to my session with the same girl the next Wednesday. I told her what had happened with my daughter, and I didn't even realize it. She was like, "You're going to help a lot of people just by your perspective on what happened with your daughter." Just because I could see it at this point, like why it happened, like what's going on, the lesson I needed to learn. Like I need to walk my talk. You cannot do spiritual work if you're not walking your talk. Like the universe will like it's just how it is. And I'm learning that now. Like I had to learn. And now I'm finally at the point now where I'm actually like the most strong I was when I was on your show. I was talking from the light. I was all like happy and like, oh, it's euphoric and it's beautiful. And then it's easy to do that because I had a beautiful experience. But then when someone's taken from you and you have to sit in this dark and you have to like get either succumb to it or crawl out of it with the light is there. You have to just have faith. And I almost did succumb to it. I almost did just give up. And I I mean I made my way out. And I feel like a real healer isn't just, oh, this is so great, like when you die, like you go to this great place. A healer is someone that also has been in the depths of the darkness and has like had their own wounds and like learns how to heal their wounds, so that they can't tell people, oh, like healing wounds like this, they go into the darkness with them and they can help them find their way out because I've been in there and know it. And I think that like my spiritual self or whatever, when I chose this like mission or whatever, um I wanted to be that good. Like I wanted to be that able to help people. I didn't want to just be like, oh, it's like it'll be okay, like everything's okay, like there's no such thing as death. I wanted to like get in there and like light the way for others. And because I'm like able to do it. I've been through so much in my life. I don't give myself enough credit. I've really like picked myself up so many times when most people probably wouldn't have been able to. I mean, my daughter just got diagnosed with cancer in September, and I'm still standing here like with my message. I'm learning that there's nothing that's gonna ever take me off my spiritual path again. I'm doing my work now, and now that like Johnny died and my daughter has cancer, there's really nothing that could happen to me that's going to shake me anymore. There's nothing possible, I don't think. Um, and I've just learned how to walk with life happening. Like I just have to accept that life happens and it's not personal, and things happen, and I'm strong enough to take it. And I chose to come back. I chose to come back because I wanted people to know this. I needed my daughter to know first and foremost about what I experienced, but I also wanted like everybody to know, because I feel like this whole world would be different if people knew what I experienced. No one would be worried about so many things or like looking in the wrong place. They would be like focused on the right things, and they would be putting their time and energy in the right places, and treating each other the right way. And it was really hard for me to come back from that and exist in the world where I was watching people just be not their best selves. And it was like hard to be an observer of that and also have no voice at the same time about it. Like I get to just be quiet. And so my mission is really is just to and it's not lecturing people. I just want everyone to realize their special divinity and who they are, because that's all you need to tell somebody or ignite inside somebody, and everything gets fixed from there. You just have to remind somebody who they really are, and that's it. You don't have to like counsel them for weeks at a time. You don't have to lecture them and tell them how to live life. You just remind them who they really are and like the bigger picture, and everything kind of falls into place after that. So,
Are you up for taking questions from the audience?
hmm
All
yeah,
right,
I
good.
love questions.
Great. You know, gosh, yeah, you've had it. You've really, had a tough time. I mean,
Mm,
but you seem to be making your way through it, which is amazing. I find it fascinating that even though you have been on the other side, you know that we go on, but when you lost your boyfriend, you still grieved. You know what I mean? Because I
yeah.
would think you would know that, okay, he's
Mm.
he's okay, he's in a good place. How did you come to the conclusion finally that, he was okay?
At first, I kept saying, I don't want him there. I want him here. Like, cause you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's more of a, I have to try to receive him when he's there. Here, he's here. I just have to look and he's there. And to be spiritual, you have to like tune into him. And I didn't want to do that. I wanted him to just be here, and I didn't want him. And so I went through that for a while. I can't even tell you the profound ways he presented himself to me, like right after he passed. It was extremely strong, and I turned my back on it. I said, Leslie, I did not want to acknowledge him there. I could not do it. It was impossible. Um, but then little things started to happen. Like me and him, the reason this was so big for me is because he was my spiritual person. I went through my awakening right next to him. He knew everything about me. He was my like when I did the interview with you, he was my crutch that I could do it because I knew he had my back. He would defend me. He knew everything that was going on. So when he passed, like I felt like part of my spirituality, like my had passed too. And so when I started, like I was denying him, I wouldn't. He would be standing in my living room. I walked to the bathroom. I'd see him standing there, and I would be like I just would turn my back on him because I could not acknowledge him there. I felt his presence all the time. And he would catch me like he can't catch me when I'm in my grief. But if I'm turning to close the bedroom door and if my mind's not there for a second, I'll walk right into him because that's when he knows he can get me for my attention. But I started to see little messages from when we were together, like that was telling me kind of that this was going to happen. I feel like we always planned this. Me and him, but right before he passed, we had a spiritual business idea we were going to do together. We were really excited about it. And, it's kind of funny, but now when I look at it, it's like we could still do it. He's just in another realm, and it actually makes it more profound. It's just, I'm realizing like he always was going to be there, and I was going to be here for my next part of my journey. It's important for him to be over there. I was always going to look for him so hard that I would find him, and he knew that. And so it's like I'm going to look in that realm way harder now with more passion and more determination because he's there, and it's gonna have an impact. I feel like we were always going to be like this, and that's what made me come to peace with it because we used to give each other index cards in the morning. We write little notes and like stick them in each other's pockets before work, and he had one that I still have, and it said, "I love you more than life itself, and would die for you on command." And I remember always being like, "Why would you put that? It's so horrible. Like it's morbid." But then now I look at it, and it's like I feel like I picture us doing like our life chart together, and he's like, "Okay, whenever you let me know, like I'll go for you, and then you'll find me." And it's just this. He didn't go anywhere, and I know that, but in the beginning of my grief, when I'm so used to picking the phone up or seeing him and smelling him, and I can't do that now. It's like a process of like letting that go and just knowing he's still there, but I just have to find him a different way.
Just to let everybody know that if you do have a question for Nicole, please type it in all caps and then it makes it easier for me to find. Do you think he's still trying to contact you?
Yes,
When was the
yes.
last time you had some sort of communication with him or some sign? What did you
Well,
see?
well, first of all, my I know when my dog, he's never done this until Johnny passed. My dog will start like out of nowhere wagging his tail in his sleep, and I feel his presence. So I feel like he's petting the dog or something like all the time. But honestly, because I've been when I came home, I've just got back to New York where I was living in Virginia for a while. My phone kept flying off any surface, like it flew off any surface, and the person I was hanging out with was one of his close friends too. And so when I got there, like it was really strong. Like he was really strong when I was there. It was like the two of us really loved him a lot. And anytime I would put my phone down on the couch, on the counter, on like the bed, it would like fly off the bed. And I like and I would like when stuff like that would happen, I would hear like his voice in my head. It would just be like a reminder that it was him. Um, I I get his voice in my head a lot of the time is like the messages I get from him. Like I'll hear him say something to encourage me or to, like calm me down. I've been going through a lot lately. I have had moments where I hear him like just in my head, in my ears, just like telling me, I'll be okay. It's gonna be okay. He'll kind of make it like a humorous, like relax, like it's not a big of a deal type thing. And I have him in dreams all the time, like a lot, all the time. Where I wake up sometimes and it's like it doesn't feel like it was a dream because I feel the buzzing, like that presence, like that, like staticky feeling around me still. Um, and so that's yeah.
It's fascinating that you mentioned the phone falling off because I just had a guest recently and we were talking about ghosts, and a lot of people may interpret a ghost as being something negative, but it's really they're just trying to get your attention.
Hmm. Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
pretty cool. All right, here's a question here. How do we remember who we really are?
Okay, so there's a lot of ways. I guess it depends on the person. What I did is I actually did a session with somebody. It took 3 days. It was like we were together a lot for those 3 days. And it was more of like me telling the person what I experienced. And then the person kind of letting me know a little of their background, and then asking me questions of the things that have kept them from feeling like the truth, the things that they feel that were keeping them from fully believing in anything. And so I would answer those questions, and then it would get more and more specific. It would be like more about life, and then it would be about like the religion they were grown up with, and then it would be more about like them, like their place in this world. And the more I'm so good at, because when I answer questions, it's not me. I'm answering from a vibration that's like a higher intelligence. Like I'm just kind of like a vessel. So it's not my words, it's not my knowledge. Like I didn't read a book. I'm actually learning sometimes as I speak, which like sometimes I'm like, oh my god, like as I'm talking, I'm like learning too. Um, so it's mostly like it's like a question and answer situation between me and another person where they ask the questions they need to like comfort themselves to a point where they realize like there are answers. There is no I could because I said so, or because that's just the way it is. It's not how it works. Like there's answers to everything, and every answer is usually vibrationally the same, different words, like different circumstances, but like the answer is always usually like foundationally the same. We make it complicated when we put things and like, separate things and put them in sections and stuff like that. It's really like a foundational answer for everything. And then it's just this person had just become so at ease with the answers, and they all matched, and everything made sense to this person, that they just realized like there could not be any way that they weren't who I was telling them they were, that we're all divine, that we come here to expand our souls and like grow and learn, and we cannot remember who we are when we're here, otherwise we wouldn't suffer. We have to forget. We have to forget, or we wouldn't be hungry, we wouldn't be tired, we wouldn't be jealous. We have to cut ourselves off, but only to grow, like not to punish ourselves. And when we grow, God expands because of our expansion. Like God gets bigger, and it's like this beautiful thing we do. And it's just like basically the truth that I can tell somebody, it resonates so much. Like it resonates with them so much that they can't help but remember the truth.
All right, here's another one. How would you wait? Let me go back up above that one. Do you teach people how to access their higher self?
Yes.
All right, how do you do
Yeah.
that?
Um it's you just have to realize like the it's like recognizing who you are as this human being, and then separating the things that are higher, like that are greater than yourself, that are bigger than you. Like we all say there's something bigger than me going on. Okay, so you have to realize like that you are the larger part of you, the infinite part of you is eternal, and the small tiny like temporary part of you is physical. um there would be no desire for more if there wasn't more to be had. And so if we're searching for our higher selves, then we have a higher self. There would be no desire for higher self if we didn't have one. And now your emotional guidance system is what tells you how connected you are. So if I'm going through a hard time and I'm feeling really sad, my higher self is always focused on what I'm focused on, and everything. But they don't leave for a cup of coffee. They're always focused on what I'm focused on in every moment. So if I'm feeling detached or disconnected or like anxious or something, I'm not looking at that situation the same way my higher self is. My higher self is always looking at the growth from it, the benefit of it, the what comes out of it, that at what's birthed out of my contrast of life. But if I'm looking at the negativity and like the bad situations that come out of it, my higher self's not looking there. That's why I feel bad, because I'm not united with my higher self at that time. So if something negative happens to me and I go that, well, it sucks, but every time this happens, I know that something eventually, if I focus on the right thing, if I focus on what I do want out of the situation, I get something better out of it. I will feel hope in that. I'll feel faith, and then maybe even like a little like euphoria or anticipation, and that is more along the lines of where my higher self is looking. Even though my higher self can see like the outcome and I can't, um it's like the better you feel about your life circumstances and the things you go through, that's how you're united with your higher self. And the more that you practice that, the more you'll get those downloads, you'll get that encouragement, you'll get that the little nudge from. I mean, meditation is so important. I mean, I would, I had the loudest mind before this. Like it was like, oh my gosh, it was screaming in there, and I didn't even really like, is this normal? Like, just screaming in my head. But I started meditating, and one time I was meditating and I felt my higher self kiss me on the forehead. Like stuff like that. You just have to quiet yourself down, because your higher self is big and infinite, but it's very subtle, because we're physical. We need to hear it, we need to see it. So if you want to connect to something that's not in this realm, like, you have to adjust yourself, tune yourself to it, because your higher self's not going to come down where we are, because that's just not going to happen. Like, we have to kind of go where they are. And so it has to do with a lot with your recognizing your emotions, how you're feeling, and quieting yourself down, meditating. If you can't meditate, I know a lot of people can't. You can do states of appreciation, which would be like putting music on and like dancing in your room, like something that just makes you feel good and get your mind to stop thinking and worrying. Like, when I do that, like, as soon as my higher self gets a second to get through my thoughts, when my thoughts stop, my higher self takes the chance, takes the opportunity, and I'll get like downloads and all that. So it's really just about adjusting yourself, and realizing, like, we can't keep doing what we're doing if we expect to have something different like that happen. We have to alter ourselves.
All right, here's a question. Is there an option if a soul doesn't want to live for eternity?
Hmm. Um. But I don't. I mean, like, when we're not physical, there's no such thing as like time or exhaustion or tired of. We're eternal, and we're in infinite bliss. I mean, I could see maybe a soul wanting to like retreat and go into its own little place, and kind of, but I don't see something that's created out of this like this light of creation and this pure positive energy state wanting to not exist. Maybe, like I said, take a breather, take a break, not incarnate for a while, um not be affected by other energies. I know this exhausts, but like, see, our spiritual selves, we don't it's there's no such thing as exhaustion, or frustration or anything like that. That's why we come here, to feel that. So I can understand where that question is coming from, because it's very like, of our minds. But I can promise you, when you're in your true state, you don't want to not exist. It's like a beautiful, it's your own personal movie. It's like your own movies unfolding in front of your eyes, and you're creating it, and you're manifesting, like, your thoughts are turning into things immediately. It's like your bliss, your dream come true, and there's no way that you wouldn't want to be a part of that. I mean, if you get exhausted from people or whatever, like, you don't have to be around anybody. You just go into your own world and start creating. I mean, you don't have to escape anything once you're there. This is where we feel like that.
All right. How do you help someone who is breaking away from dogma, religion, hell, etc.? And thank you for your story.
um well, okay, so religion, spirituality was the original intent. Was like, that's we are only here because of spirituality. There's no life on earth without spirituality. We are here because of spirituality. We come here in this time space reality because earth is a good platform for us. Like this, it's like the perfect stage for us to get onto, to play the part and be this person that figures out what they want out of life, or what they want to, what they prefer, what they desire. And this, like, religion makes this desire, all that kind of stuff, it condemns it, and it's spirituality like embraces all that. It's like, we're here to evolve our souls, and we're all from the same source. Religion was created by man to take spirituality and make it controlling, to kind of make people scared, and so they do what other people said. Spirituality is not like that. So the only thing about escaping a religion of any kind is just realizing that, it serves its purpose as, being living a good life, having a higher power, being a good person. Like, that's all great from religion. But when it comes to like you're being judged and you can't do this, and like God says it's not, that's not how it is. So the true connection that we came from and go back to is one of oneness and unity and non-judgment and growth and expansion and eternalness. And it's not, you go here, you go there, you do this, you get on your knees. Like, it's not like that at all. I mean, that's man-made, unfortunately. I mean, but if we didn't have that happen, we wouldn't be able to realize, the truth about our connectedness. Like, we kind of had to have those distractions to realize the truth. The spirituality wouldn't be as profound if there wasn't the kind of like wrong kinds out there. It's, we had to have the opposite. So getting out of a religion, detaching from a religion, just try to just know that it was conditioned, like you were conditioned into it. Like I said, it was well meaning. I'm sure not everybody was out to control everybody, and there's people that do practice religion that are good people, that and that's a beautiful thing. But it doesn't have to be that way. It can be just as simple as connecting to the universe. Feeling like you're one with all things. Desire is a good thing. It's how you learn what you want to bring back into your eternal life. We wouldn't know what we wanted if we didn't have hard times and suffer. And that's exactly why we're here, to cut ourselves off from who we really are. So we feel pain, so we feel disconnected, so we feel panic, and so from there we give birth to what we want and what we desire, and we're bringing that back with us to our eternal life. And so that's what spirituality is. It's eternal growth and oneness and unconditional love and acceptance, and that's it.
So you're back helping people again and
Yes.
responding to people?
Yes.
All right. If people want to reach out to you and contact you, how do they do that?
I have an email. It's soulshift33, SOULSHIFT 33 at gmail.com. They can also go to my Facebook. I have pages. I have the Soul Shift page on there. And then just my regular page is Nicole de Groat. But they can message me on Facebook, but mostly emailing would be the best thing. And then we could like set up a time. And I've done Zoom. I do Zoom. I do FaceTime. I'll do in person, like anything. So
You sent me some pictures, and there's a lot of them like with the sun in the background, and I think some were one or two was pointing to your tattoo. Was there any special meaning behind either the sun or the tattoo?
it's reflect where the tattoo is actually where the light, when I had passed, connected to my chest here. So if I do get things on my chest when for a year after my NDE, if I put pointed lights on my chest, I would get these like people dancing, or like the stuff on my chest, just because that's where it was connected to me.
Is there a significance of the number?
No, not really anymore.
Not anymore. Okay. What about the pictures with the light behind you?
The sun.
The sun, yes.
Okay, so what I didn't know what those pictures were at first. Those are my chakras. The pink on my head, that's my crown, and then I don't know if you saw the eye, and then I had that triangle, that blue triangle, that picture for 7 years before I realized what it was, and the throat chakra symbol is a blue triangle. Like, I had no idea. So then the green on my chest, that is the heart chakra, is green. And then like after Johnny died, was the first time I got the pictures of all the colors together on the bottom corner. And I do believe I was holding on, like your chakras, like you open them up and you, one at a time. And I think I was holding on for my ego to one of the last chakras. And when Johnny died, I think when I did surrender, I think that they all kind of like connected, and that's why you see like that shape. It's like a sacred geometry type of shape in the corner of the thing. It's all colorful because it's all my chakras put together. And that only happened after Johnny died.
Are you okay with me posting those collection of pictures to a community post here on YouTube so people can go back
Absolutely.
and look at them? Either that, or I
I'd
don't know if
love
I
it.
should post them there or my Facebook page. I'm not sure. I
Mm.
mean, well, there's more people on YouTube. Maybe I can do both.
Yeah, you can do both.
All right. So, what do you think? How do you feel like you're inspired by your NDE?
I mean, it's just simply that now at this point, the fact that I have crawled out of every place I could have. I never would have thought I could. I never would have thought I was this strong. I thought I was so not important, and I thought I was just never going to succeed or be anything in life because I was doing what everybody else did, and I looked at the house and the car and this and that and the job, and I'm like, no, like I have my faith, and because of because of what I felt, and like my NDE, I couldn't take pictures of it, I couldn't like record it, but I felt it, and that'll never go away out of my core. Like I feel it, and I know what I experienced, and that has, from the girl that was dropping dead left and right, it is actually now helped me crawl out of the darkest places and had the most strength I could ever thought I would have had. I fight for my life now. Like I value it because I know what happens when I go. So now it's like I kind of leave it there, and like let it be there because I know what happens, and it's a beautiful thing. But like I have a mission here. I feel like now, especially to my daughter, I don't want her to ever be scared. I don't want her to ever feel alone. And I mean, it's hard for her. I don't think she really watches my videos because she was so present in like the scariness of everything. So it's more of a process with her to really um admit what she could learn from this, because it's like she has to really admit what happened to me and I almost died. And so it's a little more difficult for her, and she's the first and foremost person that I want to get this message into. She knows everything, but like, I mean, I will not stop. My heart will not stop beating until that child is 100% sure that she's okay, and I will be there. If I ever leave this realm, I am not gone, and I'm not going to leave this earth until that's 100% in her heart. I can't. And maybe by me doing that, it'll be 100% in someone else's heart, someone else's heart, and it'll be a big ripple, like, because it's true. And I would never want to. That's my biggest thing, is like anybody that thinks their loved one is gone. And I understand. Believe me, I get it. I know now. And I said I got it in your first interview. I was like, I understand. I didn't understand. I understand now. And everybody's gonna grieve, NDE or not, you're gonna grieve. There's a loss, there's a physical loss there. You're not gonna ever be with that person in this life again. You're not gonna hear their laugh, and that's the stuff you have to grieve. But they're still there, and that's something to celebrate, because they're more with us now than they were before. They're just not with us in the way that's easy for us to decipher.
Do you fear death?
Funnily enough, I even after what happened to me, I would get scared, and I would say to myself, "What? Why? What are why are you scared?" And it's because I'm fearful of what I'm leaving behind. Now, I'm not scared of the transition for me. I'm scared of what's going to happen with what I'm leaving behind, the people I leave behind, the story I'm leaving behind, because the stories that I almost left behind a bunch of times were not very good. They were going to be very, very depressing stories. So it's kind of like I want to die now in like like I want to have my best face on. Like I want to do it in the best way possible, because I do fear like what I'm leaving behind. And that's why I think why I'm so adamant about making sure like my daughter knows that, what's really happening if I pass. It's not the death I go through. It's going to be like my transition into the non-physical. That's what it really is about. It's not about like the death experience. It's about where I'm going, and where I'll be.
Well, that makes sense. Do you have anything else that you're working on that you want people to know about?
Well, I got my Reiki certification, so I do Reiki also. I had somebody from Cast Your Light Publishing asked to publish my story. I haven't gotten to work on that yet because I've just been like crawling out of the depths of hell. So I'm getting there. So yeah, I'm going to be publishing a book with them. The Reiki, the spiritual guidance. I really, really want to travel the country in like an RV or something, and stop and do seminars, like maybe just like speak, to a bunch of people, and have people stay after and give me questions. And I want to just like reach as many people as possible. I do see like a lot of traveling for me possibly in the near future. Um, I don't think I'm meant to be like stuck in one place and on the phone and on Zoom. Like I want to like, be out there and helping as many people as possible eventually.
Well, maybe if you do write a book, you could go on a book tour.
True. I
That
can
would
do
be
that.
cool.
It inspired me to sit down finally and start writing.
What I like about your story and many others is the instant transition from here to there. Like it's almost
Hmm.
instantaneously, right? You're just here, and then
Hmm.
the next moment you're there with
Yeah.
really
Hmm.
there's no movement from realm to realm, right? It's like an
Right.
instant one place and then and the other.
Right. So our awareness just shifts.
Yeah. Do you have out of body experiences?
Yes. A
Do,
lot.
do you do that when you're sleeping or through meditation or what?
When I'm sleeping, meditation, I have not, I'm gonna be honest, I did last year I did do LSD, and that was extremely profound because this time I was given the option to, because I was going through a hard, I just had lost my job, I was going, that's just the beginning of everything. I was given the option from an entity to go or stay. And it wasn't gonna be a death experience. It was gonna add a body that just wasn't gonna end, kind of. Um, and that was because that was just there was no fear in that, there was no death in that, so for me it was much easier to sit in it and kind of like listen and learn and see the shift. Like the shift was amazing. Like I was inside a house, everybody I wanted to reunite with was outside in the backyard. I heard them, like the rustling, like the, and I knew all I needed to do was go out the back door, and that was it. It was just like a shift in like a change of rooms, like I always think it is, like I always say it is. So I've had, yes, it's very easy for me now, even if I smoke pot, I'll like I'll panic sometimes because it's so similar to the death experience feeling, but that's not a bad thing. It's because I'm like my mind's opening and I'm kind of like, getting that out of body feeling and everything like that. It's just anything that frees my mind, I get that feeling definitely. It's so easy for me now.
Do you ever see yourself at a point where you wouldn't do anything like that anymore? LSD or pot?
Oh yeah, I don't want to do it anymore now. That one time was like that was really, it was heavy. It was heavy.
You're just
I
kind of
haven't done it since.
maybe going through some bad times or something?
Yeah, no, I'm good now.
Oh, okay, that's good. All right. Let's see here. Do you have you ever seen past lives? Or did you get any visions of that while you were on the other side?
Um, I have had a download on my last life, which it wasn't very like like glamorous. It kind of was depressing. Um, it's like it's funny. This, the information I get most of the time is just very matter of fact information that goes into my brain or it goes into my head. It's just like it's like a down, like it pours into me, and it's just so. It's not like, oh my god. It's like, oh yeah, like it makes sense. Like the next logical reason or answer. I mean, my last life, I was told I killed myself at 44. I shot myself, and I was a mother of two young boys, and I left two young boys behind. And when I killed myself, I did it out of like getting back at somebody. I didn't do it because I was really sick. Like I did it to be like, I'll show them, and then I left my two boys behind. So I do believe that's like my karma now that I'm paying in this life. It's like I have a daughter, and I didn't shoot myself, but I was giving myself drugs and basically killing myself anyway. And which was a slower death. So I basically had the opportunity to stop myself. And are you going to do the same thing you did in your last life? Are you going to choose your own, greed or your own selfishness over your child? Thankfully, I shifted the other way. But I mean, I was, it was in like the 50s too. I had like a huge thing about it, and it was kind of depressing. I didn't want to tell anybody that. I wanted to be like some girl, like Cleopatra or something, but no.
All right. Well, before we finish up this evening, can you leave everybody with one last positive message?
Yes. Okay, so if your life is a bus stop and an eternal journey, um, we're literally in a waiting room right now. I know it feels like everything that happens is real and we have to feel it and we have to face it, but that's only because we designed it that way. Um, all because we can't see or prove the higher realm we're truly from, our real home, because we can't prove it and see it. We only can't because it's too much for us to physically receive. We if I saw that light in my physical body, I would have vibrated out of my body. It's too much for us. Like, so just my biggest thing is I know this life feels so real and it feels so true and it feels so final, but this is just school. We came here to learn and to figure out what we wanted and what we preferred and what we desired so that we can bring it back into our real life with us where we were always like euphoric there. We were always happy. So we had to kind of dive down here and mix it up a little bit to figure out what we'd want when we were cut off from that. So no matter what you're going through, who's passed on, who's sick, what job is lost. just know that it's all about how you react and learn from those things. It's not about dealing with those things forever, because those are just learning experiences for you to integrate and learn from, and figure out what you want out of your life because of that. Because we have a physical experience. This is a physical experience. We truly reside in an eternal existence. We are eternal existence. We live there forever. This is just a drop in the bucket. This is just like a movie. Um, this isn't real. This is just a play that we're in to find out who we are as individuals. Um, the bell will ring for us, and we will go home. We will all run home, and we will happily do that. So don't be scared. We always knew we were going to be scared and anxious, because we were completely cut off from who we really are and what we really know about ourselves. We knew it was going to cause panic and anxiety. We knew it, but we did it anyway. So you have to know that there's something big going on here. If you decided to be here and forget and go through all this, it must be for a really amazing reason, and it's for your expansion. And because when we expand, God expands too. God gave us existence, and we give Him expansion. So it's like this beautiful dance we're doing, and it's a big thing we're a part of. We're all important. We're so divine and important in this universe. And just don't feel small. You're not small. You're very important, everybody. So
Nicole, thank you for your message, and thanks for coming back. It was great seeing you again.
you too.
All right, Nicole, thank you. Take care. Have a great rest of your weekend. I'm going to put those pictures up. And again, what was your email address? Let me
It's
put that
soul
on my
shift.
notes. Let me put that on my notes as you're telling me real quick.
Okay.
Soul Shift.
Yes.
Okay.
33
33
at gmail.com.
at gmail.com. All right, great. Well, great seeing you again, Nicole. Thanks a lot.
You
Take
too.
care of yourself, and I wish you the best, and I hope your daughter gets well soon.
Thank you.
All right, take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye. And a big round of applause for Nicole. All right, that was cool seeing Nicole again. It's great to catch up with a guest that I haven't seen in a long time. All right, so I have another gentleman. He should have been here already. He's in India. I think he's in Delhi. We were talking earlier, chatting back and forth, and he wanted to tell me about his alien experience. He's had contact with aliens. His name is Khusbir. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Khusbir. He's seen aliens when he was 10 years old, and then he saw them again when he was 31. And they have some kind of holographic message or something. It's interesting. And I don't know. Sometimes, as you guys, the regulars here know, sometimes it's not easy for the guest to kind of log on. Maybe he's having some trouble. I don't know. I just spoke to him earlier today. I think his last message to me was at 6:50. So that was about, that was 10 minutes before I started tonight's show. So, and I reminded him to make it here. So as we are waiting for him, let me get back to my notes or at the live stream here. Again, for those of you who have just popped in, tomorrow night's guest is a woman who has pictures and videos of elementals, of orbs, she calls them starlight beings, which I think are still orbs. And let me see what I put in my notes for her. How did we describe those? A spiritual mist and more. And so we've got quite a bit of video on that, and it's not easy to edit that because we talk, when I create these kind of videos with people that we're showing videos, I take some video while we're face to face, and then we've got to convert it over to screen sharing, and then we look at some videos, and then we go back to face and face, and then we go back to screen sharing. And so when you go back and forth, there's kind of like, once it's in the editing process, there's a lot of cutting and pasting to do to clear out all that, transitioning back and forth from thing to thing, from video to face to face. So at that point, so that's what's coming up tomorrow night. The next night, I have a woman that she had an NDE. She was on a snow lift and she thought she wasn't that high and she was jumping off it was nighttime and it was much further down than she thought. And I think she fell about 40 feet and broke many bones. And so she had an NDE and I talked to her. I've already got that recorded and we've just got to put that together for Monday night. On Monday, I have a man that I'm supposed to meet with to talk about his NDE, and know another woman on Tuesday, a man on Thursday that is a master at meditation and will teach you some meditation techniques. Another gentleman on Friday with another NDE. And that's what I have scheduled for the week. I have someone coming up in August named Debbie Solaris. I think she's pretty famous. I can't remember what. Let me see if in my notes what we something to do with UFOs. So that's where I'm at with that. Now, also, again, I don't know, I guess I don't want to keep you guys hanging on here. I was going to put a Discord link while I'm here. Maybe, do you think you can create a Discord link? You go to discord.com, I can tell you. We'll create a new Discord link right now and we can put it in the notes and put it everywhere. So that will be like the new Discord link if you want to join the Discord group. Discord is totally free. Go ahead and log in. I guess. It's totally free. It's kind of like Facebook, but a little bit different. Actually, let me just open it up on mine while we're waiting here. And you know what I'm thinking about? I hope this guy's going to show, or hope he doesn't have trouble. We'll wait a little bit. And if he doesn't show, maybe I'll let you guys, I think the trolls have been gone for so long since we've changed it. Maybe I'll just let it be an open night and let whoever wants to come in and be a guest. I'd have to probably put the Zoom link back in the thing. I'll wait a few more minutes and see if he's going to show. Let me go to my Discord and put that new link in there for everybody. That way, and I'll put that in, I'll have it for now on in the, this will be like the new, where you join, if you want to join. So I'm going to go put that. I got a new one right now. Let me see, how do I get to that? I'll put a new thing. And if you don't know what Discord is similar, kind of like Facebook, but just a little bit different. And you can go there. There's about at least 600 people there, and you can hang out. You can. All right, so I just added it in the description below. You can hang out. You can video chat. You can voice chat. There's all kinds of stuff you can do there. You can post whatever you want. It's super cool. And like I said, it's a great place for like-minded people that like to hang out. And there's a lot of people that hang out there. So I just went and added that. Let me refresh my own page. Make sure it's there when I look at the description. And yeah, it's there. So if you would like to join, Discord is totally free. And all you have to do with Discord is you go in, you set up a profile, and then once the profile is there, then you click on you go find Jeff Mara podcast, and then you go, and then you use that passcode, and then you can be a member. I don't know if members are probably not the right word, but you can. Yes, that's right. Be a member. You can be a subscriber or whatever. All right, so I went ahead, and since he's not here and he's not responding, although he just responded, like I said, 10 minutes before we went live tonight, I went ahead and put, let me just refresh that one last time to make sure that link is there. I went ahead and put the link into the live. So if you want to be live with me right now, this is one of these times. It's been a long time. We stopped for the regulars that have been here. They know what had happened. We thought we put an end to all the crazy people jumping in and doing crazy stuff, and we were wrong. Couldn't do it. So I stopped for a while, and then I came on and I said we did it where we only have people that we invite. And so right now, one time in a long time, it's been a long time, the Zoom link is literally right there. If you want to come in and be live and share your experience, we're ready for you. And so we'll leave it at that. And then if no one shows, then no one shows. Yeah, we were trolled. That's the best way to put it, I guess, there. Luke of Stoke Factor. And Luke, I'm surprised Luke hasn't been a guest, because Luke has been here a long time. And I think Luke has talked about being a guest. You would be a great one to pop in, Luke, because you are a long time, I feel like a radio show, you know, long time listener, first time caller. You hear that on radio shows, and Luke is one of those. So let's open up for you guys as well. If you have some questions for me, feel free to ask a question in the chat if you want to do that. I don't know. Yeah, that's right. Stephen, Cake, or Vicky are unaware that we're doing that tonight, or they would possibly be here. And I don't know if you guys, you don't see the link, Becky. All you do is refresh the whole, what you're watching on YouTube, refresh the video. And once you refresh it, and then you look at the, you look in the description below the video, refresh it, look at the description below the video, and the link will be there. So you're welcome to ask me questions, and it kind of reminds me of, and if you guys aren't a member, you may want to consider being a member. There's 3 levels, and the silver level, which is, and then there's a silver and gold level. And so for that level, once a month, we have a group hangout. It's not live, and what we just kind of hang out, and whatever anybody wants to talk about, we talk about. So if you guys would ever like to do that, want to hang out, we'd be happy to do that. Yes, you should be able to refresh. You can refresh it on the iPhone, Kathy. How dedicated and consistent were you when I started the podcast? We were pretty dedicated from the extremely. So we've been that way from the very beginning. Actually, the very beginning, most of you guys obviously were not here. But I'll get back to that. Do you interview those whose or continue to have spiritual awakening and experiences? I mean, and for tonight, whatever your experience you want to come on and talk about, it's totally open. I mean, whether you had an OBE yesterday or whatever, that's totally available. But usually for an hour-long podcast, I find what people want to watch is either NDEs or some sort of experience that someone's had, like an alien experience, a UFO, or an angel experience, or whatever. Or I find that what I think the audience enjoys is some expert of a certain subject that can come and teach us and give us new information. For example, we had a guy that had done quite a bit of research on the hollow moon theory, and he believes that the moon is hollow. Either that, or I guess it's like the whole moon is a space station, or it's made out of, I don't know if he talked about it, but maybe it's made out of metal and it's just covered with moon dust and rock. And so that's kind of on the way of an informational type of video. I think those do really well too, and so we got to have a mixture of those kind of things, experiences and then educational. All right, what else do we have here? Train wrecks, etc. What is my favorite food? Top 3. Wow, that's way too hard to answer. I just like all food pretty much. So that one's not easy. Although we do have a cooking channel, we kind of put it on hold for a long time, and now we're kind of slowly getting that back together. Yeah, my wife is an amazing cook. I am super, super lucky because not only does she make awesome Armenian food, but she can almost cook anything. So even like today's, well, you can't see it, but we had Indian chai tea. I mean, I guess if you just know how to cook, you can kind of look at something and, it's kind of like you have basic theory and understand, how to, what mixes with well. It's kind of like being a chemist, right? Then you can understand, it's just changing the spices and cooking techniques. Then it comes pretty easy. Hi, Jeff. I've been enjoying your podcast for over a year. Thank you for listening for over a year, Debbie. I never get tired of hearing NDEs, but now I'm really enjoying the ET experience. Thanks for many shows per week. Well, thank you for watching them. Thank you very much. And I'm glad that you like the variety. Sometimes I'll put a video up that can be challenging for people. And it's interesting for me to see how the audience has evolved over time. Like, for example, I had a guest, a PhD psychologist, a few years ago. We talked about spirit marriages, and she, from what I remember, claims to have a spouse in this 3D realm and then a spouse on the other side that she sees when she's sleeping. And it was really challenging for the audience. A lot of people didn't like that video, but then we've kind of had a few more videos similar to that over time, and the audience has kind of come around. So it's fascinating to see that. And that's not only with that subject, but others as well. All right, so Susan is coming here. And we will see and meet Susan. Thank you. Susan, can you hear me? Looks like her mic is turned on. No, I don't know who this is. It's just someone perhaps from the chat. Yes. I'm taking a risk. Hopefully it's not, Susan's gone. Oh well. I love all your shows, Jeff, even when the occasional quack that comes on. Thanks for watching, Antoinetta. Now, Antoinetta, have you been a guest? Because your name sounds very familiar. She has, right? Mm-hmm. Oh, here's Becky's world. She was in the chat, so she made it. It's even interesting for me. I love it when there's like some random person. It's been so long for me. I feel like I'm out of practice with random people. Although sometimes on the Saturday, actually quite often on the Saturday nights, I'm meeting the person for the first time. Maybe there's a little anxiety that I don't know if it's going to be a problem again. Yeah, I guess the worst is I can just edit it out. All right, says Becky needs help, but I don't think she needs help. I think she's there. Let me just kind of do this. Ask to start video. If Becky is on a phone, you're on a phone, Becky, you may have to log out of the YouTube to be with me, because it may, I know on a computer it's not a problem, but it may counteract each other. What is my favorite podcast other than my own to watch and listen to? Wow, that's a good one. Gosh. I don't know if I kind of bounce around. Joe Rogan I watch, Lex Friedman I watch. As far as a podcast, last night. Oh, I was watching Netflix. Yeah, I was watching sometimes where I live. Sometimes or either my TV's having trouble or sometimes the signal doesn't reach my TV very well. So I was watching Resident Alien. That's kind of like one of my new favorite TV shows. I hope you guys have seen it. It's an awesome show. And for some reason, it wasn't coming in through my TV, so I was watching it on my phone. All right, Becky's almost here. Becky, hello, welcome.
Hello,
All right, you made it.
how
Glad you
are
made it.
you?
I'm great. How are you?
I am so well.
All right, where are you zooming from?
I'm actually using my tablet. My phone is actually broken. I'm getting a new one on Tuesday.
All right,
So I can't use
that's
my
okay. Where are you at? What city are you
uh
in?
Sacramento, California.
Sacramento. Oh, awesome.
Mhm.
Okay. I thought I had a guest from Sacramento right lately. Maybe not.
And it's
Okay,
different.
cool. That's awesome.
Yeah. So
Well, thank you
I
for
know this
thank you for watching and coming on. What do you, have you had any
very
experiences
well.
that you want to share with us?
I actually have quite a lot. I'm gonna turn up my lighting to here.
There
There
you
it
go.
is. Okay. So I have like a lot of I actually been wanting to be on your podcast for quite some time. I have like I've had some crazy things happen to me. Mainly, it happens to me like in dreams. That's where I'm like the most susceptible, I feel like.
Hmm.
So I've had some really profound experiences and like psychic kind of stuff happening. And I try to tell a lot of people that I know, and then it kind of flies over their head. You know, it's a very lonely place when you're kind of open to that type of stuff, you know?
Right. So
But
would you say you're a lucid dreamer or an astral traveler while you dream? Or it sounds like you have prophetic dreams.
right. So it's interesting because before I was into like the lucid dreaming and astral travel, all this other spiritual stuff that I'm really on now, I want to say I've had an experience with that. And I didn't know. And I was like, oh, because I had this one, that one makes sense why it happened, if that makes any sense. And I'm one of those, I don't know if it's like 5% or 20% or something like that, but I'm one of those people. I'm not trying to sound cocky or anything, but I actually remember all my dreams and I'm doing dream recall. So I'll really write some stuff down. My profound ones, I rather make videos on just so that way it could be like, because they're, it's kind of expansive, you know? I don't know. Anyway, I don't know which experience to tell you first.
Well, it
I don't know
sounds
if you
like
want to hear about something subtle or something extreme.
I
It's
like extreme, but it sounds like I noticed that your YouTube name is Becky's World, and it sounds like a great idea for a YouTube channel just to have a dream journal and every day, get, if you can, it'd be awesome. The first thing in the morning, you get up and speak into your cam what your dream was. Is that what you're doing?
I do have a YouTube channel.
Right?
There is other things that I'm focused on. It's kind of like at a pause, like I'm starting a business, but I'm like at a pause
Okay.
in it because it costs money to make money kind of thing.
Right.
And also too, just spiritually, I've been feeling like I just need a tune up. I'm actually kind of going through this pivotal moment in my life. But in the process, I'm just like trying to make sure that I stay positive and just kind of just stay positive because it's so hard. It really, really, really is, you
Well,
know.
maybe you can make a second channel and call it Becky's Dream World.
I would actually really do
Yeah,
that.
I think that would be a cool idea. So tell
Yeah,
us
I
what
would
some of your
definitely.
extreme experiences.
Okay, so I am gonna go. I'll start off with this one. So I'll start off with this. My sister passed in 2022. Um, this was November, I want to say 10th or 11th. Um, I was rather close with her, but we were like estranged at the same time. I love my sister. Like you know, a lot of things changed. She was kind of going through a lot too. Before she passed, she was like asking people for help, and I just really feel really bad. I didn't even know that she was like sick or she was dying. My mom, like nobody didn't inform me properly. Um, so she was actually like she has diabetes. She was kind of really swollen, and she got on the Greyhound and came all the way to California. My mom stays in Tracy, California. That's probably about like an hour some change from where I'm at. And she just wanted. I think she knew she was gonna go, but she wanted to be with my mom and everything. And my mom was pretty dramatic, so it made my other sister panic to not go. And I don't know why they didn't tell me that. Anyway, to fast forward, I was in my apartment in Sparks, Nevada, and I was just sleeping, and um, I had a dream. So as I'm sleeping or whatever, I'm constantly getting phone calls like back to back, back to back, back to back. Even a friend of a family was calling me. I was like, I already have insomnia. I just want to just sleep. I'll answer it later. I kind of feel like something was going on. Anywho, in the dream, I was in these apartment complexes. And you know how there's like the walkway, and then there'll be like the patch of grass right here, and there'll be a patch of grass right there. And you just walk through the little areas in the apartments. And mind you, I have to, it goes full circle. So at the time, I was telling my boyfriend, I was like, I really want a dog. I was looking up all these kind of dogs. I want a Saint Bernard. I want a big old fluffy dog. I just wanted a big dog. We're talking about dogs. That correlates. So in the dream, in the apartments, I'm at a bird's eye view. I'm always this way in my dreams. You know what I mean? Like looking down. And it was some Saint Bernards, and they were walking, and then out of nowhere, some black bats came in, and they just killed the Saint Bernards. They were like all laid out on the grass area. And then I woke up and I was like, I know something happened. I know something happened. I know what this means. And that's when she told me, she videoed me, my sister in the hospital, and she had passed. So I was very devastated. It was really, really, really a hard time for me at that point. Um, just with work had slowed down. I was independent contractor. I didn't have another job to back me up. I didn't get evicted or anything, thank goodness. But I had to pretty much like move. And me and my boyfriend at the time were just like kind of dwindling away from each other. It was just, yeah, it was like a lot of stuff around that time. But the reason why I say that is because as far as like the bats or whatever, so like bats, I'm going to tell you something else that's crazy, and this is recent. This is just
Mhm.
like this is just a little
Well, it
point
sounds
of a story I'm trying
it's
to start with.
right. It
Huh?
sounds like that you foretell the future through symbols in your dream.
Yes, right,
Right.
absolutely. And I know if somebody's going to pass. If there's a black crow or black spiders or bats, those are usually symbolisms of death. So that happened, and that was crazy. So after this happened, right? I'll tell you this, and this still gives me like the chills and everything like that. So when my sister she had passed, I had a visitation. I still want to recognize. I want to just dive even more into this because I'm like, did I visit her? Or was it presented to me? Sometimes I'll have like, I'm still trying to figure out certain discernments. Anywho, um, it was in this. Everything is very blurry on the outside of this realm, and I'm at that bird's eye view. And it looked like it would be like a grocery store, but you could barely see anything. And it was a couch, like a regular rustic couch. And then I was coming from a different angle. The couch is right here. My sister is sitting on the couch, and I'm coming from that way. And I see her, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, Samantha!" Like I can feel every emotion. Like I'm like kind of like teary. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, Samantha, it's you!" Like, "Oh my gosh!" And then she's sitting there, and she literally just goes like this. She's just sitting there. Her hair is back into her bun, like she wears. She had a jean jacket on, and she just looks so peaceful and so happy and just like in a very euphoric state. Like people talk about euphoria, it's like pretty much like ecstasy, like you're really happy, you're so content. And she looked at me as I was saying this, and I'm like getting teary-eyed. She just looks at me, she goes like, what are you doing here? Like, okay, hi. Like, that's it. And I turned to the other to my right of me, I want to say. And there was this black guy. He was wearing like a white tank top, all bald, dark skin. And I was like, what's going on? I was like, what is she doing here? She's like, oh, don't worry about it. That's your sister. She likes it here. She's been visiting here for the past 10 days. Literally, that was 10 days after my sister passed. Like literally,
So who do you think that guy
I just woke
was?
up in like chills, huh?
Who do you think that guy was?
I think he was like a guide, perhaps, or maybe somebody that has passed on. I still don't know who that was, but I knew to ask him in the dream. Like he was there. He was like, "Oh, don't worry about it." Like I was like, "What's going on?" And he was just like, "Oh, don't worry about it. She likes it here. She's been visiting here for the past 10 days." And I was like, "Okay." And
So your
I've had
sis
like, I want to say, huh?
so your sister looked healthy and vital,
Very
yes?
healthy, happy, happy. She was really swollen. Like they had to like drain her, you know, it was like blood and everything when she was in the hospital. She actually, it's funny because when she was in Tracy, they the ambulance had to take her here because they didn't have a trauma unit or something like that, and they drove her all the way to Sacramento. Literally, there's the hospital. It's literally walking distance right at the corner, and that's where she died inside the hospital. But she
So
was like flatlining on and off inside of the in the in the ambulance too as well.
she
And
didn't
that's
look swollen anymore or anything. She looked
no, no.
healthy.
She was all the way back down to her actual, I would say her goal weight, I would
Hmm,
say.
wow. So it sounds like it was a visitation dream.
Hmm.
Do you feel
It's really
like
fascinating.
anything was resolved from that dream? Like any
I always
anything you
been
had to between each other?
hmm right. I've always been open to the spirit world. I always attract people that are like me or completely the opposite. Um, and I'm just now finding out that I'm like a healer. I didn't know that I was, but I've like all different walks of life. I always had an open mind to the metaphysical and spiritual. Like this is all I pretty much watch. You know what I mean? Anyway, but yeah, I don't know. I think that after that happened to me, it was just like, okay, that was confirmation. You know what I mean? And there's like another situation where I'll tell you, like, I feel like that was like my first dream of her after she passed. That was like confirmation that she's okay. And I was able to go visit her in this realm where she was at. And also too, I have a friend, his name was Abdullah, and he lived in Washington. I was born in California, but raised in Washington State, but also lived in California too as a teenager. So they kind of like front hand, backhand, kind of you know what I mean? And it was a very good friend of mine's, and I met him in like 2000 and like I want to say like 4 or 5, and we've always been friends. He's always been there for me and stuff like that. And I remember when I couldn't stand being in California, I was like, I cannot wait to leave. I was so happy when I came to his house. I just some of my best years. I partied a lot. I just was around him, and I was just like, it was such a good time for me at that point. And I want to say that was like, I think when I moved to, because I did a lot of back and forth to Washington, but when I went to go stay with my friend at that time, I want to say it was 2010. I want to say 2010. And I want to say like maybe like a year later, you know, he just started getting really sick. He would always like fit in like a cup. And I used to be like kind of annoyed because I'm like, what's going on? You know, I didn't even know what was going on with him. And I had got pregnant, um, and he was there for me with that and stuff like that. Anyway, fast forward, well, I had to leave, and I remember hospice had to come and stay with him at a friend's because we were at one of his friends' house. Um, and I was like, I didn't know how it was, you know. This I already have my son, and I'm literally I could smell like the dead body, like when somebody's dying. I know what it smells like, or if somebody had like they're like cut deeply and it's open flesh wound. I know what it smells like. Um, and I asked her, I was like, how does this look? And I was like, you know, she was like, um, usually if hospice comes, they don't have very much long or something. And I was like, I didn't know. I'm thinking like, oh, hospice here. I don't know anything about that. I'm thinking that it's gonna get better, you know. But anyway, it was really hard seeing my friend die in front of me. And then I remember the day that I left, my sister came out, and it was literally like a movie, like literally a movie. I remember I did not want to leave. I tried to do everything in my power. I did not want to leave, but I had to go back to California. And I remember I gave him a hug, and I could just feel like the wind blowing, and it just felt like a very sad harmonized, like just that violin. And I just hugged him and I just cried, and it was just like that was like the last time I seen him. And then, you know, not very long after that, I want to say maybe just within like maybe even a month or something like that, then I heard that he passed. And that was really hard for me. Um, so I just wanted to give you a little backdrop layer. I will tell you this. I had a dream like around that time, I want to say, and I didn't know what that was. I just thought, oh, maybe my mind is making it up. That's when I wasn't really deep into what I'm into now. So when I had a dream of him, he was just in this realm, in this world, this place, and we're outside, and I was like, Abdullah, what's going on? You know, like talking to him and stuff like that. He's like, Rebecca, I'm fine. I want you to know, like, I'm okay. I'm fine. I'm happy. And I was like, okay, I just wanted to make sure because you're not here anymore, and that was like a little small snippet dream. I'm gonna slingshot you all the way into up to I want to say this was about probably I want to say like last year. I'm I'm dancing at this place in Nevada, and I was drinking a lot. Um, Relationship with my boyfriend was definitely going down the drain, and just thinking about other stuff, just like life stuff, things like that. Um, and I remember I had a dream. Like I sound like Martin Luther King right now. Um, so I was dreaming because I was sad, and I would like pray and be like, ask the heavens, the spirit guides, whatever sign or whatever they want to show me. Anyway, so I'm in the dream. At first, it starts off a little weird. I'm literally in that bird's eye point of view, and it's like so he was from Africa, so he's from Chad. So if they were wearing like black, white, it was like girl, like they were all like in a line, and they were wearing the little tribal black and white attire, and they were all like dancing in front of each other, and they were like doing the little African dance. I could see them, and I was like, oh, that's so cool. And then I look over this way, there's like a little tent area, and then there's a table. It was like maybe like four people like close around where he was at this table. He was wearing a light yellow tan suit, crisp, clean. He was smiling. He was so happy. And I literally looked at him, and I this is like it was really beautiful to me because I was really going through a lot, and I really just wanted a hug, and it doesn't seem like anybody was around, anyway. So I see him, and instantly I'm like, Abdullah. And I just started crying. And as I was crying, I could feel all those emotions in my dream. I could just feel like a release. It was like a good cry that I haven't had in a long time. It felt so good. And I just hugged him, and I was crying, and I can hear him crying with me. And it was crazy. And then I woke up out of the dream, and I was like, wow, like that was like intense.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah.
That was amazing. All right. Well, do you I guess I should move it along. I'm not sure. I have someone else next in line, but thank you
Okay.
so much for coming and sharing with us. It's great meeting you. And
Yes, you too.
are you a member of the Discord?
I just made an account with Discord. I don't know if I'm a Discord member where you can join just yet,
Well,
but I'm a
you
subscriber.
on Discord, you can go and get your free profile. You go to discord.com, and then once
Hmm.
you get that, I put that also I put that in the description below. You have to have like my specific passcode to get into my room. So it's kind of like chat rooms. And so the only way you can get into it
Okay.
is with my passcode, but you might want to join. There's like 600 people there, and I think you would really enjoy it. There's a great community there.
I would love to do that. I
So
wish
you
I could
should,
share
so
more with you because
yeah, so
that wasn't
that's
even
just the tip of the iceberg.
oh.
Well, you never know. Maybe someone might not show again on a Saturday night, and I'll open it up and you can come back.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I would love that. And thank you so much for everything that you do. I know you hear it so much, but
Well, thank you.
yeah, it little goes a long way.
Thank you very much. All right. Well, Becky, thank you.
Thank you.
Would you go by Becky or Becca?
Uh
Either one.
Becky, Becca, whatever you want.
All right, Becky. Well, it was a pleasure meeting you, and thank you again for coming and sharing. We really appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
All right. Take care.
You too.
Bye
Bye.
bye. Don't report. And we'll give her a big round of applause. All right, so we have some. Well, maybe he's gone. RJ Speen is here. Whoa, hey RJ, I haven't seen you in a long time, brother. Hope you're doing well. And I wonder if maybe you can pop in for a minute. Usually I do. I switched my Saturday nights to having only guests because I had too many problems. And so I had a guest that didn't show on me tonight, and I have a few more minutes left before we finish. And you can tell me what's going on in Arkansas if you're still there in Arkansas. Now we have Adam Salmon here. I'm on a, right? I put in the chat. Is Adam actually here? Like we've been lucky so far tonight. I don't want to have to go back and edit this video. I'd love to just leave it and call it a night when I finish this. I wouldn't think that somebody, one of the trolls would just pop in out of nowhere. And it shows Adam's name right there. But I don't know. It kind of reminds me of the British guy. Remember the British guy that used to come in and not wear a shirt? Looks like he was about 18 or 19. Yeah. That seems like the same name. That is where my brain is at, but I'm not clear on that. But people are asking for RJ. Maybe I don't even know if RJ is still there. He was there, and maybe he popped in and popped out. Who knows? Anyways, I put that in the chat, and maybe if Adam's there in the chat, he can respond to me. Oh, RJ, there he is. I send the frequencies. Yeah, RJ, hope you're doing well, brother. It's great. It's been a while since we've seen each other, and the last time, when was the last time that we were together? It's got to be 9 months, 8-9 months. It's been a while. I think so. Been a while. All right. So, I don't have a response from Adam. It's still open. RJ has done. Someone says RJ should do a full interview with you. RJ and I have done at least 2 interviews, if not 3 full interviews. And so I think RJ and I have really good chemistry together, and I think that we've, let's do another one. Me and RJ, we have had good shows together, so it'd be great to have him back and see what he's up to. Luke says it's been 9 years. I'm not sure what that is referring to. You know what it's referring to? It seems like it's too long. I saw them all. More, please. Okay, so see, they want you back, RJ. Absolutely, yeah. There is some, it's interesting. There are some guests. I guess that's with any host and a guest. You have some sort of instant, great chemistry with, right? Me and RJ's a good one. Me and Tim Tactical, I felt like we had really good chemistry together. Actually, me and a lot of my guests, I think, really. Most of them, probably 95% or more, have good chemistry together. And I feel like it's like whenever I see them again, it's like seeing an old friend. It's like you're together for like an hour, 2 hours of your life. Most of my podcasts last for an hour, but we usually hang out for like 15-20 minutes before, and then when it's over we hang out for another 15-20 minutes. So it's almost like 2 hours of time. It's like, imagine that you come together with these people for a couple hours, and they're willing to share their lives with you, and they open up to you and tell you all their stuff, and you talk about their lives, and then they're gone until you see them again. Like John Scott. John Scott's another one. We had a few videos together, and every now and then some of my guests, like John, we'll hang out and talk. Not even on a podcast. I haven't talked to John in a while. I don't even know what he's up to, but I mean, the last time I think I wasn't even live. We just kind of hung out, and just talked. Like, where's my video at? I lost you guys. There we are. So we just hung out and talked like on instant messenger. You know what I mean? We just kind of hung out for a while. RJ wrote, I agree, Jeff. I love our time together. I will message you. Let's have another talk very soon. So there we go. Looks like we'll be scheduling RJ again soon. I wonder what, I wish I knew. RJ, if you're still there, what was the podcast number that we did last? I'd have to go look for it. Was it over 1,000? If you just put in YouTube, if you put RJ Spina and Jeff Amara, that will probably show. Our last one. 9 months ago. So that was podcast. We had 9 months ago and 2 years ago. Scroll back up for a second. For 934, that's the last time he was here. And what was the when we posted today? Like 1,100. So yeah, that's about right. About 200 back. So that was the last time RJ was there. And it's nice to see. Sometimes I'll look down when I do the live screen and I'll see like previous guests kind of popping around there. Yeah, 934 if you want to check out that video. What is it called? How to deprogram your mind and release limiting beliefs in 14 days. I wonder what kind of new material do you have for us, RJ? What will we talk about next time? I think that was like something he was working on the last time, getting ready to have a class or something about reprogramming limiting beliefs. And so I'm assuming that RJ's got some new material. He's got something else he's working. And see, Medium Kim Copeland, she's been a guest. She's there. And she actually comes also on our Saturday nights with the member hangouts. So that's somebody that if you ever want to hang out with, she comes and hangs out. She's been pretty regular too with our monthly hangouts. So that may be something if you want to come and hang out with. I would jump on, but my son is extra right now. Not sure what that means, but your son is welcome to be here with us too. Sometimes, I think we've had some, when we used to do live on Saturday nights, I think people have had their kids in the background. A new book that is called Access Super Consciousness. All right, cool. So he's got a new book out. Awesome. And he'll get me a copy. Can you please autograph it for me, RJ? Because I like to collect autographed books. So that would be awesome. With my collection up here. I think that's awesome. And that's up here. I'm looking up here, and I don't know if you guys have ever seen the video. I did a video one time of my podcast room, like what's all in here. And so even though I'm looking up, then you would understand what I'm doing when I'm looking up, because right in front of me I have all these shelves, and on one level of the shelves, there's 3 shelves actually, and one of them is all my books that people have given me. So it's up there. That's where my books are. And behind me is a giant green string. And so that's it. But you could see like what it's up to. And I'm thinking about, my wife and I were talking, and I was like wondering, maybe starting like a blog, just like a personal blog, like what I do during the day. I don't know, I don't know if that would be interesting for you guys. Might be. You can let me know in the chat. But we have so many channels and so many things going on. I don't know. We even have the time and energy for that. All right, so we're like 11 minutes out before the end of the night. If you were thinking about and you're on the edge, if you want to join me live, you have a few more minutes left, or we call it a night. And what happened to Mika? Mika, I saw someone ask about Mika here earlier. Mika phone home. Someone actually put that before, and we are thinking, it's so funny. Well, I guess the chat's actually behind me, but it came through as the same time. Mika and I, we had a synchronicity there. Oh, and also this video yesterday. This woman, the alien woman that I'm going to be posting tomorrow, she was in contact with Chris Bledsoe, and if you haven't seen that interview, that's a great interview that I have. And Chris Bledsoe is a guy that had an NDE that here she is. Here's this little angel. She just woke up, I think. Chris Bledsoe had an NDE when he was a teenager. Him and his friends were hunting and got shot in the back. He was outside of his body and his friends were arguing and stuff. And he's one of the most famous UFO people out there. I mean, they have had 2 different television shows about him. I think a series on History Channel and maybe on Discovery or whatever. Very, very well-known guest, and he sees ETs and beings and orbs all the time. And my guest yesterday asked him if he would put a prayer to him with the ETs to start for her. And now she's having ET contact, and she's done it with another one of our friends because she talks about, the quantum field or whatever. It doesn't matter where you are. So I asked her yesterday in the video, well, will you put in a word for me so I can start seeing the ETs? And I said, also, maybe we can even, that would be amazing. Maybe we can have the ETs even show up while I'm recording videos. And imagine seeing orbs flying around me. So I haven't, that was a couple nights ago. I don't know if it was last night. I think it was literally last night that I recorded with her. I think it was literally last night that I recorded with her. So, we'll see. We'll see what's going to happen with that. And for those of you who've been here, I've been asking guests and different people. I'd like to have a real ET as a guest, even if it's one that is cloaked into a human body. That would be super cool. Or someone like in the show, as I said earlier, what I was watching last night on TV was Resident Alien. I don't know if you guys watched that show. That's about a guy that basically cloaks himself to look human. Oh wow, Antoinette is going to North Carolina. If you're going, it's so funny that you say that, because I think he's going to be speaking publicly in Wilmington or something like that, North Carolina, coming up. And I think my guest is going to be there too. So that'll be fascinating that if you see her there, and if you guys are both going to the same event. Her name is Jennifer Anderson. So maybe you'll watch the video tomorrow and maybe you will see her there. Or another movie I watched the other night, my wife and I watched, and I thought was pretty good, was Jupiter Ascending. Have you guys seen Jupiter Ascending? Well, thank you, RJ. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. It's very kind of you, sir, to say that. Yes, sir, I am there. So I think Antoinette is going to be at the same thing with Chris Bledsoe and Jennifer Anderson. So that will be amazing if you get to actually see her video tomorrow and then you meet with her. Maybe you can meet her when you're there seeing him. And I think she's going to be like bringing her videos and stuff and wanting to be showing him and or talk to him about what's going on. Have I figured out who the ET was on my show? I have not. I had an idea maybe, but I have not. I can't confirm it. I'll put it that way. And that's good. Great that you remember that. And I don't know if you guys have remember that. We had another guest on. Forgot her name. She lives in Mount Shasta. I think she's a chiropractor too. And we were talking about it on a live night, and she said, yes, I've already had an ET on the show. Jupiter Ascending is on YouTube Free Movies. Wow, I didn't know that's there. So that's cool. You guys can check it out there. It's on Amazon Prime too for free. I channel an entity from SAR called Saurian. I'd want to understand most. No, wow, you should have came on and did some channeling. Maybe you can come on a Saturday night and channel for all of us. and that would be cool. And we can let the audience participate and ask their own questions. RJ wrote, send the frequencies. Juicer Sipping is a documentary. It's so interesting that you said that, RJ, because I had another guest. I can't remember who it was, but mentioned about the reality of that movie to me. And that's how I even found out about that movie, was that one. So, and it's pretty cool actually, because there's actually, you know, I have a lot of guests on the UFO videos, and we talk about reptilians, and they're basically reptilians with wings in that movie. So it, you know, it almost makes you feel a little more comfortable around reptilians. So you might like that. And there's another movie that I liked. There's a series I liked. It's kind of hard to get into it in the very beginning because you're trying to figure out what the heck is going on. There's a series on Amazon Prime called The Expanse, and I've had about 3 or 4 of these guests now that claim to be one of these people that are 20 and back, that like their consciousness is taken out of their body and they're in another body and they work in space for 20 years and then they come back. And one of my guests who claimed to work on I think it's Ceres. It's like a giant asteroid out in the asteroid belt, and in the show there's a base out there. See, RJ says that the show Jupiter Ascending is non-fiction disguised as science fiction. That's so cool that you mentioned that. We could probably do a whole show just on that. We could just talk about that movie. It'd be really cool. But yeah, if you ever get a chance, I really liked The Expanse a lot. It's really cool because you have like humanity has kind of moved into the future, and we've colonized Mars, and we've also colonized an asteroid belt. So there's kind of like now 3 different civilizations: humanity, Mars, and then the belt, or they call them the Belters. And they're all, you know, and like typical humans, they're still fighting each other. But I just felt like it was really realistic on ideas of the way space travel would be, a little bit more than what we're used to with, you know, everything else. But I really enjoyed that series. It was too bad that it came to an end. But that was one of them. And one of my all-time favorite sci-fi shows is Farscape. I don't know if you've ever watched Farscape, but one of the actresses is on YouTube quite a bit, and she has, I think, a YouTube channel. And I thought about getting her as a guest. She would probably be a guest, but I don't know if the audience is kind of ready for that. I mean, just to have an act, you know, unless you've seen the show, you may not really have an interest in the guest. You know what I mean? That's why I was kind of iffy on that. I did one other guest. For those of you who watch the show Stranger Things, I've had one of the children on from the show. I can't remember what number he was. Do you remember the number? Number 10, number 11, something like that. And he was a nice kid, and I had him on. But again, it didn't really get much traffic because, you know, interviewing celebrities like that is really not my what I normally do. So like a lot of people didn't tune in for that. She's saying, please bring RJ back on. I'm begging you. Well, I'm pretty sure we're going to get in contact and reschedule RJ, so I wouldn't worry about that. Another interesting one, though, has already been canceled, was Peripheral. I've heard, oh, I think we watched that one, and I can't believe it's Peripheral. Was Peripheral the one where they would put on like a headset, and then they would be like, they thought they were playing a video game, but their consciousness, they would be controlling bodies in a different realm? And if that was the one, that's terrible. That was a really great show. I like that. It's too bad that they canceled it. I thought it was super cool. I'll be there. See, RJ said we've confirmed it with RJ. Let's see. Millie Bobby Brown. No, I didn't have her. But if I would have had the star of the show, it might have been bigger. Yep, in the future. What was the person that mentioned the Peripheral? Is it the same person? Kind of go back through my check. Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah, that was a good one. That's too bad. That's too bad that it didn't work out. Oh yes, like different time. Yeah, that's too bad. Yeah, it's like the future. That's what it was. It was like they were popping into the future. Jeff, if I meet Chris, I will have him sign her book for you. Awesome. Thank you so much. I actually have his book, but I don't think I have a signed copy. But I do have a copy of him. But yeah, if you could get me one, that would be amazing. Thank you. And that would be great. I wish I was going. I'd like to meet him too. I think he was out. Somebody told me that he was at Contact in the Desert, if you guys know it. Oh, uh-oh. My guest came an hour late. Maybe he got the time wrong. We'll bring him in for a few minutes because he's in India. Can you imagine? That's interesting. Somehow, I don't know what happened. We'll find out about him with here, but he was our ET guest. We won't keep him a whole hour, but no, of course not. But we'll bring him in. I don't even know what time it is in India right now. Maybe somebody can Google it and tell me. It's probably about 12 hours. It's probably about 9 in the morning, I'm guessing. Oh, 7:30. Yeah, I know it's 30 minutes off. India's like that. It's different. It's like that you wouldn't think, most places, because I do record people from all over the planet, and almost every place is off, it's off on a exact timeline, but this is like an extra 30 minutes, which is not normal. Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Is it Khusbir? How do I pronounce your name?
Yes, Khusbir.
Khusbir. All right. Thank you for joining. You were supposed to be here an hour ago. What happened to you?
Oh, I slipped in bathroom and my hand pain.
You what? You got hurt?
I slipped in bathroom.
You slipped and fell?
In bathroom.
Oh, wow. I hope you're feeling okay.
Just little bit of pain in my hand, wrist.
Oh, all right. Well, I have a few minutes to talk with you. So you've seen aliens before. Is that what you're saying?
I've seen, when I was 20 years of age,
Mm-hmm.
I was in my rooftop home. So I see a holographic message.
Holographic message. Where are you in Delhi?
Yeah, I am in Delhi, West Patel Nagar, in my home.
Okay, so you were outside, you were on your roof, and you saw a holographic message.
Yes, holographic message. What is this holographic message? Is there are 3 planets round. One planet middle one is moving left side.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that again? You saw 3 planets in the sky?
No, not in the sky. In my front, my eyes.
Three orbs or 3 balls of light in front of your eyes?
Yes, 3 balls.
Okay.
3 balls, and middle one ball is moving left side.
Oh, and
they are planets.
And what did they look like, these balls? Just like balls of light? Planets.
No, they are like planets. One is Earth planet, green.
Okay.
The color is green, and the 2 planets colors is not green. So, and there is a snow in a backside. So small amount of snow.
And snow
and one backside of planet.
Okay, there was snow like on the planet. Interesting. Okay.
White color snow.
All right.
And means there is only limited amount of snow left on Earth because of pollution.
Interesting. So it's. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
And then there is a neck coming in front of me. Neck has no eyes, only open mouth, like this it's coming. And there is a small girl. She have no legs, no hand, and her eyes is swollen, left eyes. That's what I see in a holographic message.
Did you receive some sort of telepathic message to you? Like, were they speaking to you telepathically? No. It was just visual.
It was silent message.
Okay.
You don't understand yourself. What is this?
Okay, how do you interpret that message? What does that mean to you?
It means that the pollution on Earth has a getting heat, and the only less snow. And what happens is that your body get damaged because of heat. Your body is good in cold temperature.
So it's,
Your mind get cold. So you
do you think,
like talking to the people.
do you feel that like those were three different versions of the same planet and like it's showing you that the planet's getting worse?
Yes, yes, yes. Planet getting worse, and maybe there is another human planet in space, but we can't find it because all 98 countries on Earth are not connected to each other. They fight and wars going on, so they can't be like good scientists or intelligent humans
When you,
because there are so many human planets in space
did you
where
have,
there humans live, but we cannot find it.
did you happen to see any UFOs in the sky?
Yes, yes, and UFO I have seen in my rooftop. When I'm standing on my roof, there are no clouds. So in seconds, so all the clouds coming together, and there is a light from the UFO, and the cold comes.
Hmm.
It was on my rooftop also, and when I was 8 years old, I am sleeping on my bed. So my brother coming with sword, and we have a blanket lying on my body, and he put sword on my leg. So the light is coming from the mirror. I have seen the light, but when we go outside, there is nothing. But the light is coming from the space in the mirror. I have seen that light too.
Has
When I
anybody,
was 8 years old, when they are coming, the alien you are coming, but they're not showing to me. I don't know why.
I was going to ask, how did these ETs contact you?
Well, I don't know.
You don't know.
But
Have you had a near-death experience or some other spiritually transformative event in your life?
no, 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 no. I eat only veg, like fruit and vegetables, so I don't get sick
You're a
or any
vegetarian.
disease in my body.
That's great.
Yeah, vegetarian. The food grow on trees and plant and on earth. I eat only those.
Are you, would you say that you're Hindu?
Sick.
Sikh. Okay. Okay, great. I've had a couple, a guest or two that were Sikhs.
Okay.
But I don't remember. I think they were in the south of India. Is there,
No, no. Punjab side, Punjab side.
okay. That's,
Amritsar, Delhi, Ludhiana, Ambala. They
so
are everywhere on earth.
do you feel that, how did it, well, not do you feel, how did the, after you had the experience of the holograms, did it change your life at all in any way? Did you become different?
No, nothing. I'm just waiting for alien humans to come and show to me or with their UFO. So we
Right.
can go to their planet or we can ride in some other human planet if they come and go to me in front of me. But they're not showing. I think they are like gods. We have to respect them.
Well, if
They are more
anybody,
intelligent, more far from us.
do you think that they are going to fix the planet or take people off this planet and bring them somewhere else?
Look, they are around 8 billion population approximately of
Right.
Earth. But the whole civilization is damaged. If they are gods, then they can do or correct Earth civilization. If they are humans, then very impossible to correct Earth civilization because they are all killing each other for money, like doctors, like politicians. So it's very difficult. If humans come, maybe they get killed too because of the military, army, navy. Approximately, as I have seen these news on TV that alien ship coming to the military aircraft, so they fire arms to alien UFO ships. I've heard those news on internet. So
Hmm.
that's why they are not showing.
Being does being a Sikh or Sikhism, does that make allowances for aliens and UFOs within the religion?
Look, this Sikh is nothing, Hindu is nothing, Muslim is nothing. There's just hair growth on my face and my head. So I don't cut them. So I become Sikh. Everybody is a human being.
Hmm. It doesn't matter.
Most important, everybody is human being.
You don't cut your hair at all, right? You have really long hair?
Yeah, we have long hair and mustache and beard
Right.
because our mom and dad don't allow us to cut hairs
Right.
because they are belong to they respect Sikh religion.
Right. I thought within the Sikh religion they believe that hair is like an antenna for your body, and so you don't cut your hair.
Yes, right, you.
But you do.
No, we have a Guru Granth Sahib, a holy book. It says that our gurus give their death towards religion remain good on earth. Everybody follows Sikh religion.
Do you think that
There are so there.
Go ahead.
Yes.
I-
You go ahead.
I was going to say that, well, I was saying now that we're so far apart from each other, you being in India and me here, that my timing is thrown off. So sometimes I'm talking over you, but I'll get it fixed here as we keep talking. Do you feel that aliens are going to be moving us off planet anytime soon?
Look, what I think is that what my thinking says that the whole civilization of Earth is damaged. If they take one human being to their planet with them, like their planets are so intelligent or better than Earth, so maybe one human go and marry some lady there, so maybe damage whole planet there too. So it's very difficult that they will take us to their planet.
Yeah.
Because they will damage their planet also too. Because
Yeah.
they will go and marry female and have kids, but their habits will maybe damage their planet. So I don't think they will take us to their planet because we have to correct ourselves. We have to make improvement ourselves.
Do you think that our planet can be fixed?
Yes, fixed, but you have to have 198 countries, good friends. They all should be good friends. Means no war, no fighting. Like you see Israel, Gaza, they have killed so many humans there. They have war going on, so it's very bad. You see that the our Earth civilization have created very wrong innovations like weapons, uh, like war weapons, like war fighter planes, but they have don't develop like something that so that we can search another human planet in space and go there, like Star Trek ship. You see Star Trek movie,
Right.
they have a spaceship. If they develop spaceship electric with ion thrusters, I see that they are developing ion thrusters. They are electric and no pollution. They go and they have light speed. Then they can maybe go through black hole. I think black hole is a way of another human planet. It's a shortcut way, but I'm not so sure.
Do you
But they say they black hole or yes.
do you think it's possible that humans are not even from Earth? We came here after we destroyed the last planet?
Yes, I've heard that story too. That remaining humans, that aliens have left humans on Earth planet so that they can destroy the planet too, and maybe they will come when the end comes. When the end comes, when you are in a then come, so that you understand little bit of them. Because 8 billion population is a huge population, and they are controlled 198 countries government. They are not one.
Have you told any of your family or friends about the holograms that you saw on your roof?
Look, my all families and friends, they are busy in earning money, so they are not interested I have a patent of battery and a design, which I manufactured in 2007, and I'm waiting to be when I've sold my patent and battery, then my income will start.
Well,
Till now, I am totally free.
I thought that a lot of people in India don't like to talk about these subjects, like life after
Yes,
death.
yes,
and-
yes. They just work and married and have children and have a good home. That
Mhm.
just they wanted only. They don't take risks. Risks are taken by Americans, like London humans, like Israel's, like Gaza. They all take risks in innovations. America have a NASA. They take so much risk, so much innovations they develop, like patent design. They take so much patent design to the in reality form. But India don't take risks. India is just sitting for marriage, kids, school education, and they build their home and have good living thing and good living, good food to eat.
Mm.
But they all do same things. If one open shop and his shop is doing good, so other one is also will open in front of his shop so that he will get good living too. That's what they do. They don't risk.
I thought that, some of these subjects that we talk about are not really, something that people don't want to talk about them in India. Maybe they're
Yes,
too
yes, they don't
scary.
want to talk about. No, no, aliens, humans are not scary. You have to understand them. You have to respect them. They are so intelligent. UFO. I have heard it, I've seen it, but I have not seen from my eyes. Like spaceship, UFO, like close. When I see, I no never see that. I just see on the internet
Mm.
that they are intelligent humans
Yeah,
from us.
yeah.
But if you have a president and you tell them that we have you are alien human, maybe they will caught him. That's what I see on Area 50 in USA. Maybe they caught the aliens and they are utilizing their technology to become their own technology, to become more advanced.
All right, Khusbir. Well, thank you so much for coming and sharing your experiences with us. I really appreciate you, and I'm glad you made it.
Okay.
Thank you, and I'm going to be leaving here soon, so thank you. I appreciate you, and if you see some again, if you have another experience, please reach out to me and we can have you back.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. Have a good night.
Okay. Good night. Thank you.
All right. A big round of applause for Khusbir. He made it. That was awesome. We got him right at the very end. Well, that was pretty cool. Interesting. He had, from what I understood, he had 3 planets of like a hologram in front of him, and it was showing him that looks like that there's not much snow left, and it's melting, and we're having global warming, and things are not in bad shape. So that was pretty interesting. All right, guys. Well, thank you all so much for coming and hanging out with us tonight. It was a fun night tonight. As you guys know, we really appreciate y'all, and we are thankful that you come and watch our videos, and we hope to see you again